48 Laws of Power. Law 2. Never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. Friends can easily betray you out of envy or ambition, often taking advantage of their closeness to you. Enemies, on the other hand, have more to prove and can become surprisingly loyal allies. This law teaches that over-reliance on friends can lead to vulnerability, while strategically using enemies can strengthen your position. In the world of power dynamics, understanding this principle can help you navigate relationships more effectively, ensuring that your trust is not misplaced and that you remain vigilant against potential betrayal. In the mid-9th century, the Byzantine Empire witnessed a tale of trust and betrayal. Michael III was just 2 years old when his father died, and soon after, he was declared the future emperor. His uncle Bardas, a man of great ambition and intelligence, managed the state and could have seized the throne for himself, but chose to support Michael instead. As Michael grew, he needed a counselor to help him manage the state. He made a grave mistake by choosing Basilius, a young man who had saved him from a wild horse attack years earlier. Impressed by Basilius's bravery, Michael appointed him head of the stables and showered him with gifts and wealth. Basilius's loyalty seemed unwavering, and Michael began to trust him more than anyone else, even more than Bardas. But this trust would soon be his downfall. Michael wanted Basilius to be his counselor, but Basilius lacked political knowledge. To remedy this, Michael sent him to the best schools, where Basilius emerged as a brilliant advisor. When Michael became emperor, Basilius's influence grew, playing a crucial role in every important decision and event. Despite this, Basilius's greed for power and wealth never waned. Michael doubled and even tripled his salary, but Basilius was never satisfied. Meanwhile, Bardas had become the head of the army, and Basilius saw him as a threat. He began poisoning Michael's mind against Bardas, claiming Bardas was plotting to seize the throne. Michael, blinded by trust, believed Basilius. One day, in a crowded place, Basilius murdered Bardas with Michael's approval. After eliminating Bardas, Basilius demanded to be made head of the army, consolidating his power further. Basilius now had money, power, and loyal followers, 3 things Michael lacked. Years later, when poverty struck the Byzantine Empire, Michael asked Basilius to repay the money he had borrowed from the state. Basilius refused, showing complete disrespect. Michael realized too late the magnitude of his mistake. One night, while Michael was drunk, Basilius and his men took him home. The next day, Michael's head was displayed on a pike, and Basilius declared himself emperor. Michael's blind trust in Basilius led to his tragic downfall. Friendship had blinded him, making him vulnerable to betrayal by the very person he trusted the most. In the mid-10th century, the throne of the Chinese Empire was the most dangerous position due to constant conspiracies. Whoever became king faced immediate betrayal by ambitious generals, who would kill him and declare one of their own as king. To protect themselves, these new kings would then kill the remaining generals. This vicious cycle repeated many times, making the throne a perilous seat. In 959 AD, General Zhao Guangyin became Emperor Song. Aware that his fate could be similar, he devised a plan to break this deadly cycle. To celebrate his coronation, he organized a grand feast and invited all the powerful generals. As the wine flowed and the feast progressed, Song dismissed his guards, leaving only the generals in the hall. The generals, fearing they had been poisoned, braced themselves for death. Emperor Song addressed them. "I know today is not a day of joy for you. Instead, you fear that I will kill you. I do not doubt you, but can anyone bear the burden of the crown while constantly fearing disloyalty?" The generals, drunk and anxious, agreed. Song then proposed a solution. "Leave your positions as generals, and I will give you everything you want: wealth, fame, money, slaves, girls, everything." The next day, all the generals resigned from their positions, and Song kept his promise, granting them everything they desired. This move turned potential threats into contented allies, allowing Song to take their advice without fearing betrayal. With one strategic move, he transformed dangerous wolves into loyal pets. Years later, Emperor Song invited his enemies to his palace and offered them wine, a customary method of poisoning in the Chinese Empire. One enemy hesitated, fearing the wine was poisoned, and pleaded for his life. Song laughed and drank the wine himself, proving it was safe. This act turned the enemy into a loyal friend. During his reign, Song learned that King Jiangshu of a rival state had conspired against him. Instead of arresting Jiangshu, Song treated him with respect and gave him a package to open on his journey home. Inside, Jiangshu found documents proving his conspiracy. Despite this, Song's respectful treatment won Jiangshu's loyalty, making him one of Song's most devoted allies. A Chinese proverb says, "Your friends are the jaws of a fierce beast. If you are not careful, they will chew you." Emperor Song, with one hand, distanced his generals by offering them wealth and security, and with the other hand, turned his enemies into his closest friends. This strategic approach is why the Song dynasty ruled China for 300 years. It is natural to trust friends. In this cruel world, friends can seem like your biggest asset. So why not rely on a friend rather than someone else? However, involving friends in work matters can blur the lines. You cannot put pressure on friends the way you can on colleagues or subordinates. A friend will often judge you based on your friendship rather than your work. Emotions come into play, which are not necessary for work. You want to work efficiently, not complicate matters with personal relationships. Therefore, it is better to keep friendship and work separate. Instead of relying on friends for professional matters, choose someone who has something to prove. A person with something to prove will go to great lengths to achieve success, breaking mountains for you if necessary. They are driven by their need to demonstrate their capabilities, making them more reliable in professional settings. Let's also consider the role of enemies. Enemies are important in life. Without enemies or competition, we become lazy and never grow. Enemies keep us focused and alert. A person who hungers for power never fears conflict. Instead, they thrive on it. They know that enemies help prove their strength. Victories over enemies are far more meaningful than empty words from friends. Does this mean friendship is unnecessary? No, friendship is very important. However, you must recognize who your true friends are. A true friend stands by you in every situation, not always agreeing with you, but showing you your mistakes and where you need to change. If you cannot recognize the true nature of your close friends, they can become your biggest enemies because they know your vulnerabilities. This is why Voltaire said, "God save me from my friends. I can handle my enemies myself." Understanding the dynamics of friends and enemies helps you navigate relationships more effectively, ensuring you place your trust wisely and maintain your power. Thank you for watching. If you found this video insightful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth explorations of the 48 Laws of Power. Until next time, stay powerful.